80. Presumption as to gazettes, newspapers, and other documents. 81. Presumption as to gazettes in electronic or digital record. 82. Presumption as to maps or plans made by authority of government. 83. Presumption as to collections of laws and reports of decisions. 84. Presumption as to powers of attorney. 85. Presumption as to electronic agreements. 86. Presumption as to electronic records and electronic signatures. 87. Presumption as to electronic signature certificates.
'88. Presumption as to certified copies of foreign judicial records. 89. Presumption as to books, maps, and charts. 90. Presumption as to electronic messages. 91. Presumption as to due execution, etc., of documents not produced. 92. Presumption as to documents 30 years old. 93. Presumption as to electronic records 5 years old. Chapter 6. Of the exclusion of oral evidence by documentary evidence. 94. Evidence of terms of contracts, grants, and other dispositions of property reduced to form of document. 95. Exclusion of evidence of oral agreement. 96. Exclusion of evidence to explain or amend ambiguous document. 97. Exclusion of evidence against application of document to existing facts. 98. Evidence as to document unmeaning in reference to existing facts. 99. Evidence as to application of language which can apply to one only of several persons. 100. Evidence as to application of language to one of two sets of facts, to neither of which the whole correctly applies. 101. Evidence as to meaning of illegible characters, etc. 102. Who may give evidence of agreement varying terms of document. 103. Saving of provisions of Indian Succession Act relating to wills. Part 4. Production and effective evidence. Chapter 7. Of the burden of proof. 104. Burden of proof. 105. On whom burden of proof lies. 106. Burden of proof as to particular fact. 107. Burden of proving fact to be proved to make evidence admissible. 108. Burden of proving that case of accused comes within exceptions. 109. Burden of proving fact especially within knowledge. 110. Burden of proving death of person known to have been alive within 30 years. 111. Burden of proving that person is alive who has not been heard of for 7 years. 112. Burden of proof as to relationship in the cases of partners, landlord and tenant, principal and agent. 113. Burden of proof as to ownership. 114. Proof of good faith in transactions where one party is in relation of active confidence. 115. Presumption as to certain offenses. 116. Birth during marriage, conclusive proof of legitimacy. 117. Presumption as to abetment of suicide by a married woman. 118. Presumption as to dowry death. 119. Court may presume existence of certain facts. 120. Presumption as to absence of consent in certain prosecution for rape. Chapter 8. Estoppel. (121) Estoppel. 122. Estoppel of tenant and of licensee of person in possession. 123. Estoppel of acceptor of bill of exchange, bailee or licensee. Chapter 9. Of witnesses. 124. Who may testify. 125. Witness unable to communicate verbally. 126. Competency of husband and wife as witnesses in certain cases. 127. Judges and magistrates. 128. Communications during marriage. 129. Evidence as to affairs of state. 130. Official communications. 131. Information as to commission of offenses. 132. Professional communications. 6. Sections. 133. Privilege not waived by volunteering evidence. 134. Confidential communication with legal advisors. 135. Production of title deeds of witness, not a party. 136. Production of documents or electronic records which another person, having possession, could refuse to produce. 137. Witness not excused from answering on ground that answer will criminate. 138. Accomplice. 139. Number of witnesses. Chapter 10. Of examination of witnesses. One 140. Order of production and examination of witnesses. 141. Judge to decide as to admissibility of evidence. 142. Examination of witnesses. 143. Order of examinations. 144. Cross-examination of person called to produce a document. 145. Witnesses to character. 146. Leading questions. 147. Evidence as to matters in writing. 148. Cross-examination as to previous statements in writing. 149. Questions lawful in cross-examination. 150. When witness to be compelled to answer.